what is your way of balancing being structured to make sure you're covering all of the bases and the things that you care about, but also making sure you leave room for, like, I'm on to something here and I want to just explore it while I'm trying to figure out how to solve a problem?
I think there's a time for experimentation and there's a time to dial it in, and really work on specific skills. Um, there's a time to rest a little bit more, and there's a time to really hit it. Uh, and you need to know, and be able to kind of plan your days, weeks, months, and years. Experimentation, perhaps not the best the week before the jury, or the week before the audition, but 12 weeks before or right after, absolutely. And I think that you need to. There are certain schools of thought, and we don't need to get into names of these certain schools that talk solely about the technical or solely about the musical. And in my um, opinion, and this is just my opinion, I think they're all wrong. The answer is yes. Um, you need to have good technique. You need to understand what good music is. You need to have a check on whether or not you're making that. And you need to have a system to see, to examine those checks, and be able to break that down. Now, that doesn't need to be a spreadsheet per se. And a lot of this is going to depend on the type of person you are too, and what you're going through as a human. And with college students, for example, they're growing as people. They're not who they will be at 35 yet. Um, and so allowing yourself a little bit of flexibility is super important. You just need to know when and where to put that in, so that's not interfering. uh, when when you go out to perform, I tell my students all the time, it's like a free throw for a basketball player or hitting a single for a baseball player. It should just be free throw. Again, again, you don't want to do anything extra stressful or extra important or extra special. You just want to discharge what you've prepared to do and do it in a musical way.
Yeah.
Um, but there are times to look into how might I be more efficient and what am I missing, and there's that process is inherently creative and exploratory. And those lessons sometimes can be the most fun in your practice sessions and as a teacher. Um, I vividly remember. Actually, I think I told you about this. This must have been 5 years ago now, 4 years ago, where I was actually single tonguing incorrectly. My tongue was traveling too far forward and back. There was a lot of inefficiency. And so you said something that talked about the tongue just kind of dipping into the airstream. And you didn't tell me physically what to do, but you said, I imagine my tongue dipping into the airstream from the bottom and then getting back out of the way. And I kind of played with that. And it wasn't a specific physical instruction at all, but it got me in the right physical place. Now, that took me months.
Yeah.
I saw the promise right away. But that rebuilding, that kind of forging that new neural pathway took months.
Sure.
To where I could, and frankly, years. It's much better, but it is still something that, I play in tune, I think, most of the time. Single tonguing, not quite as good as my in tuneness, I think.
Sure.
That's my weak that I want to work on.